Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney, and today is Wednesday, November 10th. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. And I want to start off by saying today, Happy Veterans Day to all the people who have served or are still serving in our U.S. military. Thank you so much for everything that you do, for doing what you do to protect our freedoms. And today, in honor of Veterans Day, country music star John Rich is hosting a charity concert that's happening at the Lorraine Palace Theater. So in Lorraine, that's tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. There are still tickets available. Now, John Rich, who you may remember from Big and Rich and Lone Star, he'll be headlining the event. Lots of great things happening there. You know who else will be there? Cleveland Browns iconic quarterback Bernie Kosar, and there is an opportunity to have a meet and greet with both John Rich and Bernie Kosar and more incredible people who will be there. This is being put on by the Travis Mills Foundation. If you're not familiar with Travis Mills is one of 5 Iraq veterans to lose all 4 limbs and survive. So he dedicates his efforts now to helping other similarly situated veterans who have lost limbs. He calls them recalibrated veterans and helps them get the services they need in order to do everything that they could possibly want to do. So that's happening at the Lorraine Palace Theater tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. You can see more details about that on my 3 Things to Know podcast. I chatted a few weeks ago with John Rich. Also, by the way, big donors are stepping up in a big way. They are contributing. They are matching donations up to $500,000. And I do believe that includes the cost of concert tickets. So again, head to WKYC.com/3 Things to Know if you're interested in attending that event, having a good time for a very good cause on this Veterans Day here in Northeast Ohio. And with that, we turn to one of the top stories of today. Cleveland Mayor-Elect Justin Bibb has announced the people who will head up his transition team. There will be 6 people on the team. They are all co-chairing the transition team. The team includes Erica Anthony, Executive Director of the Ohio Transformation Fund, Paul Clark, former regional president of PNC Bank Cleveland, Richard Gibson, a pastor for the Elizabeth Baptist Church, Phyllis Seven Harris, who is Executive Director of the LGBT Community Center of Greater Cleveland, Daryl McNair, the president and CEO of MVP Plastics Corporation, and John Ryan, a former labor and nonprofit leader. Now, Justin Bibb says that these people will co-chair 10 different committees, and they will put together a plan to handle his top priorities on day 1 of his administration coming in January. So here are the 10 committees: economic development, education, environment, equity in action, health, modern city hall, neighborhoods, open government, safety, and talent. Those are the 10 committees that will be heading up what Justin Bibb considers to be his priorities leading into his new administration, which will come in the city of Cleveland here in January, as the city of Cleveland says goodbye to Mayor Frank Jackson after his unprecedented 16 years as the mayor of Cleveland. Now, we have an update yesterday. The sentencing came down for the former Strongsville priest who has committed sex crimes against teen boys. He has been sentenced to life in prison for a series of sexual exploitation and pornography crimes. Now, the crimes committed by Reverend Robert McWilliams, former Reverend Robert McWilliams, involved taking confessions that he heard from teenage boys at his church and then intimidating them into extorting them for sexually explicit photos. Also, he paid 2 boys, ages 16 and 13. These are people that he found online to perform sexual acts, and he possessed tens of thousands of pornographic images, some of those depicting toddlers and infants. That's according to court records. He was sentenced in U.S. District Court in Akron by Judge Sarah Leoy in front of a gallery that was filled with families of 3 of the victims. McWilliams, who is now 41, had previously pleaded guilty to 8 counts involving exploitation of children and pornography. Now let's turn to the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Ohio. These just in from the Ohio Department of Health. In the last 24 hours, we have seen an increase in COVID-19 cases. I do not have the most up-to-date numbers in front of me here. As soon as we do have those numbers available, those will be on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. So make sure you check the website for that information. You can also get that information on our broadcast, which will be at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 11 p.m. tonight. And if you do not have access on a television to regular TV, You can find that on the WKYC website and also the WKYC app, where you can stream those things for free. Now, speaking of COVID-19, the Cleveland Browns have entered enhanced COVID-19 protocols after another positive COVID-19 test. It was just a few days ago that running backs Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton were testing positive for COVID-19. Well, now backup center Nick Harris is also added to that list. Also previously added to that list, reserve running back John Kelly and practice squad receiver Lawrence Cager and defensive back Brian Mills. So all of these players on the COVID-19 list for the Cleveland Browns. So that means that you will see unvaccinated players wearing masks. You will see more spacing in the enhanced protocols and also Zoom meetings when possible. The COVID-19 list is reserved for players who have either tested positive for COVID-19 or unvaccinated players who have been deemed to be close contacts of people who have tested positive for COVID-19. Now, the league protocols this year do allow a vaccinated player who has tested positive for COVID-19 to return after 2 negative COVID-19 tests. Those need to be at least 24 hours apart. So, according to Adam Schefter for ESPN, Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton are vaccinated, so it is possible they may be able to take the field on Sunday against the New England Patriots on the road for the Cleveland Browns. But if Chubb can't play, head coach Kevin Stefanski did confirm that D'Ernest Johnson would start at running back for the Cleveland Browns. Kareem Hunt continues to be out with an ankle injury for the Browns. Now, the last time Johnson had the start, he had an incredible performance. It was in Week 7. It was on Thursday Night Football. It was in the win over the Denver Broncos. So here's hoping that that continues again if Johnson does take the field in the starting position on Sunday against the New England Patriots. More news out of the Cleveland Browns organization today. They have signed guard Joel Bitonio to an extension, and he is very happy about it. He is the longest tenured player, left guard Joel Bitonio, on the roster. He's now been signed to a 3-year contract extension. He only had 1 year remaining on his 6-year, $56.1 million extension that he signed with Cleveland in 2017. So this deal, it'll keep him with the Cleveland Browns through 2025. It is a 3-year deal worth about $48 million. And on average, on an annual basis, this will make Bitonio the highest paid guard in the league. And lots of congratulations to him for that. Here's what Bitonio said. He says he's been here for 8 years now, and he's seen a lot of ups and downs. To be part of that and for the team to have faith in him and allow him to be here for his entire career really means a lot. He says it's very special. He was talking about how you see guys switch a lot from team to team, and that's great players in the league. And then he mentioned Joe Thomas. He said he saw Joe Thomas end his career here, and it's something when you get into year 8 and 9, where he's hovering about right about now, it gets in the back of your mind where it'd be really special to be in Cleveland your whole career and try to win a championship with these guys. Love hearing that from him. So congratulations to Joel Bitonio and the Cleveland Browns on that extension. This is just after the Browns had entered into another extension with one of the best guards in football. That was on Tuesday. Wyatt Teller. His extension is a 4-year extension, $56.8 million with $28 million guaranteed, and that gives him the 3rd highest average annual salary for any player at his position. I don't know about you guys, but I love to see that we have these high-paid players at their positions, because that means that we are in the right direction. At least that's how I see it. You're not going to pay people to play that aren't doing the job, and it seems like these guys are definitely doing the job, and it's great to have them here for an extended period of time here in Cleveland. Speaking of Cleveland, there is an Ohio guy who is continuing with his journey for love on The Bachelor. This season, it's Michelle Young, who the men are battling it out to try and win her heart. And Rick Leach Jr. had a one-on-one date in the episode that aired yesterday on Tuesday, and we really learned a lot more about him. We hadn't really seen an opportunity for him to open up. He's a Walsh University graduate. He's living in LA right now, earning his MBA from Loyola Marymount University. And we heard him open up to Michelle about how his parents' divorce really impacted him and how he felt responsible for it. He felt to blame because he shared with Michelle on their hiking date, on a beautiful hiking date over a beautiful dinner before having a slow dance with a private performance at the end of the date. He shared with her that he had seen a text message on his dad's phone when he was 17 years old, when Rick was 17 years old, about 2 weeks before Christmas. And it didn't sit right with him. It was from another woman, so he told his mom about it. Turns out that his dad was cheating on his mom. So 3 days after Christmas, his mom woke him up, he said, at 6 a.m. and said, "We're moving out," and had confirmed that his dad was in fact cheating on his mom. And then Rick went on to share with Michelle that he lost his dad 3 years ago, and he did believe that up until he died that his dad actually blamed him for the divorce. So he said that was hard for him, but eventually he was able to understand that he can't control the actions of others. He can only control his own actions. Michelle said that she loved seeing him open up like that, and she felt very seen by Rick, which has been a theme for Michelle. She definitely wants to feel seen by the guys that she's dating on The Bachelorette. So now Rick is one of 11 men who are continuing on. We are now in week 4, so next week it'll be week 5, and Rick will be around for at least one more episode as he and the 10 other men compete for the love of Michelle Young and potentially the opportunity to propose to her when this is all said and done. Now, speaking of performances, there is a free performance happening at Tower City on November 18th, and it is by the Plain White T's. And when I saw this today, I got so excited because back in the day, you know, when I had a MySpace page and you could put a song on your MySpace page, Hey There Delilah was on repeat. It was always my MySpace song. So the Plain White T's, they are free concert at Tower City. That's on November 18th. The doors open at 6. The show starts at 6:30. The tickets are free. The link is on WKYC.com. So go ahead and check that out. Don't worry, there are still some available. I already got mine. So if you go, say hello. I'll see you there. There'll also be pop-up little food spots and alcohol spots and drink spots, you know, so it should be a good time. One more thing before we let you go here. The Ohio Bottle Lottery is back, and there are some pretty expensive rare bottles that people have the opportunity to potentially buy on. So the way this works is you enter the Ohio Bottle Lottery now through 11:59 p.m. on November 15th, that's next week, and then you will get an opportunity to be drawn to potentially maybe have the chance to buy one of these rare bottles. There's an OFC bourbon from 1993 that's $2,500 on there. Now, granted, if you win the lottery, one of 6 people will win the lottery, you do have to buy the bottle. And if you don't buy the bottle, then of course you forfeit the ability to purchase it. You have until December 13th to buy the bottle, so you got to get that money together. You got about a month to get the money together. $2,500 is a lot of money, but the least expensive rare bottle in the Ohio Bottle Lottery is a bottle of Old Forester Birthday, and it's $150. So quite the range, right? But $2,500 is, that must be a nice bourbon. All right, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Wednesday, November 10th. I will see you back here tomorrow with more 3 News Now.